Making your own pastry seems to be one of the things that most people are afraid to even try because they can't get it right, the texture, the stretch, everything. I will show you this cheap version. Again, it's a simple way to make it, it's fail proof, and you'll get the most beautiful pita or burek every time. So start off by combining all your ingredients together to make your dough. Now this measurement that I've included in the description will make you 2 trays of burek. So whether you choose to make 2 same fillings or 2 different fillings, it's totally up to you. But while that's mixing, go ahead and make your filling. So I've made 2 different versions, but for this video, I will be showing you the spinach and cheese only. So I go with baby leaf spinach, and then I will add some ricotta and feta to that. Chop up your spinach. I prefer fresh ricotta. Coles didn't have it today, so I'm happy to settle with this container. Chop it up and rinse it until the water runs clear, and then you can obviously go ahead and add your extra ingredients. In the meantime, my dough was ready. So what I've gone and done is you take your dough out, have your plate ready to go on the side there. Now you'll see by the texture of the dough, it is still quite sticky, but it's not where it gets stuck onto your hands. So this is the perfect working dough that you need. Oil up your plate, divide your dough into 2 balls, and then flatten it out to basically be a very fat pancake. Layer one down, put some oil, a Glad wrap sheet over the top, and then repeat with your second dough. And then you're going to cover this with Glad wrap and leave it for a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes ideally, but the longer you leave it the better, and make sure most importantly that your room is warm. If you've got a cold room, your dough will not be able to stretch as easy. Now for the fun part. If you can find yourself a huge baker's cloth that you obviously don't cut up and you keep as one whole sheet, or any kind of kitchen cheesecloth, you need something that's going to stop the dough from sticking, but at the same time not release any fibers, because you don't want your dough to be full of cotton or polyester. So now take your time in stretching out your dough and start from the ends out and constantly keep pulling it out. As you're going around in a circle, you're going to keep increasing obviously the diameter of it, and you'll notice in that small little ball will turn into basically a sheet of filo, which will cover my entire bench space. If you don't have as big of a bench space to work with, cut your balls up into smaller pieces. It doesn't affect it in any way. It just means you might have a few more joins when you put it into your tray. Now for this part, I've divided this whole dough into basically being 2 rows of my pastry. So I will be doing 1 row on each end of my filling, and then I will be rolling it together. However, if you don't want your pita to be as thick and you want, say, more thinner rolls, then what you can do is divide this mentally into 3. So you'll put another row of your filling in the center, and that way you'll stop rolling at a certain point, cut, continue rolling, and so forth, if that makes sense. So cut through the center to divide your rolls, but then at the same time you want to cut off the ends, because this is where you've got your clumped pastry, so you don't want that in your actual tray. But don't discard those pieces, they are actually the best bits. As a child, we'd put them in a little bit of foil and bake them in the oven, and you'd have these crispy little bites that you could sort of munch on in the meantime. So place this now in your oiled tray, and you're basically going to go around like a snail pattern, and then once that's done, squeeze a bit more oil over the top, and as you can see, it is ready to bake. So you'll pop this in the oven that's been preheated at 180 degrees, and you'll cook that until golden brown, and you should have something that looks like this. Now take a clean tea towel and pop that over the top, and you're going to leave that for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Now this is going to help soften down your burek. Don't add any water, the steam itself is more than enough, and then you can go ahead and start cutting that up and getting it ready to serve. You can use a knife, but you'll see by this it's actually not as easy to cut all the way through evenly. So I recommend using kitchen scissors because you'll definitely get it all the way cut through and it's much easier to handle. And there you have it, your own homemade burek that you can thoroughly enjoy with so many different filling options. I will do another video on the creamy potato, which is absolutely amazing. But in the meantime, thank you for watching and be sure to follow me on Instagram for more updates.